We're back. Bonfire. Faction Talk.
Hell yeah.
Sirius XM. I'm Robert Kelly. That's Big J Okerson. We're having Atkins Keto. What is it? Keto peanut butter cups. I've been bringing healthy snacks in all week, and I've been rejected, except for today. Everybody
jumped in on those sugar-free cookies, and they were absolutely terrible.
Wow.
John's mouth is all mucked up.
It's all peanut butter, dude.
Jacob loved it.
John Carden's going to be at the House of Comedy in Phoenix, Arizona. That's March 30th through April 2nd.
My first headlining weekend.
Congratulations.
First ever headlining weekend.
Yeah.
That's great.
Hell yeah. Well, you can sit in the chair and stare at an empty bed, I guess.
Go to
a tummy timeless bed.
I know you were without me in Spokane. I'm sorry.
Go to @GoingToTheJohn on Instagram.
Yeah. And
it's Jon. Jon.
Yeah. We're both going to be at the Nashville Comedy Festival. Doing
can you look it up?
They didn't announce it yet. It's not on the website yet.
Nothing.
Nothing is.
It's so close.
I know it's close. Very close. Kid Rock show, and then we're doing a show together as lovers in the night.
Yeah, just two guys. We're going to do a live sex show.
We're going to do a live sex show with each other.
I went to that in Amsterdam.
VIP passes only.
With Joe DeRosa, Marina Franklin, maybe even, I think, Rachel Feinstein was there.
It's announced.
And we went there. Nice. We went there and watched that live sex show. Everyone was having such a good time with the novelty fat stripper, and then the muscular guy comes out and does his thing. We're all having a good time. A couple of hot girls come out and strip, and then a couple gets on stage and starts fucking, and everyone gets like, oh, should we go? It seems wrong. Yeah. Even though I thought I was like, this is going to be the best thing ever, I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. It seems weird.
It does seem weird. Even in The Godfather with that scene, and then they was like, yeah, look at it. It's like, oh, this is weird. Why are they getting into this? 4 guys together just watching a guy with a donkey penis do some weird stuff to a chick's fake strapped to a pole.
Where was that even happening? Is it still happening? Is there an address for that, Bobby?
Cuba.
Cuba.
God, Christine, look up places like Cuba. It's so gross.
Tijuana.
so
Anyways,
gross.
we have a very special guest calling in very shortly, and it's from yesterday's show. We had Keith Robinson, the legend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one of the legends.
For sure.
He's actually.
He's a mentor of mine.
He's a mentor of Big J and
Kevin Hart,
Wanda Sykes, a lot of people, generations.
Generation ago, Keith is the reason that I started coming to New York. He got us into the mainstream scene, introduced me to the Patrices and Bobbies and Colin Quinns and all these people. It was the conduit for all of that. I owe him so much, and he would tell us stories. Some of them cautionary on what not to do in comedy.
Yeah.
The funniest thing that Keith did, though, that made me laugh, bring it when he comes on, was he would tell me and Kev all this stuff. Kev had a lot of music cues, and I had some, for sure. And he was just doing he's like, yeah, you guys are getting too wrapped up in the black circuit comedy. He goes, you don't want to do that shit. Anyone can do that. It's just like smoke and mirrors. You got to write funny jokes. And then Keith headlined one weekend at the Laugh House once. And he's like, told me and Kev to come hang and watch, and we did. And Keith kept doing you can't do drive-bys to old 70s music. Well, DJ hit it. He was doing all the DJ cues. And then at the end we were like, Keith, I thought you said it's corny and hacky to do a bunch of music cues. He goes, do as I say, player, not as I do.
I used to do my first college gigs with him, and I did my first flight with him. And going through the airport, every girl he was talking to, every single girl, he'd go up, start yapping. Then there was one of the ugliest females I've ever seen in my life.
Sure.
He walked up to her.
I ain't gonna stop him.
And he starts talking to her. He gives her his card. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, practice, motherfucker. Practice. Use the ugly ones for practice for the hot ones.
Getting in reps.
Practice. He's put in his 10,000 hours of trying to get pussy. So in some of those stories he would tell me, he did tell me stories that we were like a crew.
Yeah.
And I think it just when I was taking all of the Keith information, it was something that didn't come up a lot. And he said it once, and I was just like, well, that's kind of he's saying that was the past, so it's nothing really that's to do with me. So I kind of forgot about it. And then Bobby brought it up yesterday. He goes,
do you know how happy it makes me that I'm ruining the way you remember Keith? I'm actually putting it into real perspective right now.
I was like, Keith was, and probably not a ton of years removed, 10 years removed from being in his comedy gang. And and he told me stories, but I didn't know that Bobby told me there is in fact a BET News, local BET News.
They had that back in the day.
In local black news,
They had black
there's
news.
in local black
Live from
there's
Harlem.
a loose pit bull running around on a.
This is it.
The line for the new Popeye sandwich has died down. So this is the news of Comedy Express. Then we're going to jump ahead a little bit. You just got to catch Keith. They all do. Christine, give them a little taste of each guy doing their own thing, because I don't know if they're an improv troupe or what, but they all try to do a little something funny themselves for the camera.
Yeah, but Keith is the worst.
Well, Christine, you've jumped way ahead.
Well, I was just going to this guy because Dan watched me.
No, but we need to focus much more on Keith.
So you want to go straight to Keith?
Yeah, we watched this guy twice, I think. He comes up twice.
So everybody's giving like an interview of who they are in the group, their personality.
Yeah, they give us personality.
And then Keith decides to mix it up. Everybody's just sitting in a chair talking, but Keith doesn't do that. He puts his jacket up fake on a hanger like it was there.
Who's the
Looks
cute one?
That looks
Who's
like the
hot
best
one?
acapella group I've ever seen.
Who's the gay one? Who's the bad boy?
Or a bowling league. They look like the gay gang in the Warriors.
Yeah, they have the jackets of an old white man doo-wop group.
Keith Robinson on tour.
Yes, I won't be
How you guys doing? Guess you want to interview me, don't you? I think I can make room for you guys. My busy schedule. Yeah, I know you want to know.
Can I
where it
stop for
all
one
started.
second?
Sure.
He doesn't know. He's so not in the business. He doesn't know where to look. He's looking at the person in the room and then back at the camera and then back at the person. He has no idea. He should just stay with the camera.
In fairness to him, BET's just got a camera with a giant light blasting in his face, as you can see for sure in the room behind him.
There's a VHS in that recorder right now.
Also, for sure, probably a Betamax.
Oh.
And they, the sweater and the satin jacket, the thing doesn't work.
Yeah, nothing works on this.
The sweater doesn't read gang to me. Leather buttons on the sweater, I feel like. You know what I'm talking about? Like those brown leather buttons.
It's a cardigan.
The jacket, I
cardigan.
felt like he's going to park outside of an Italian restaurant.
Yes, he does. That's exactly. It does. He looks like he's a valet at a place.
Straight up.
And I tell you what, it looks like he was trying to get a job as a valet that day, and he didn't think he was going to get hired on the spot.
He got
And they were
hired that day,
actually,
yeah.
Carlos didn't show up, so if you wouldn't mind. And he goes, I guess I could do a shift. And he just threw it on over his sweater, his cardigan.
He goes, I got stuff to do, but also I can do this.
I like his hat that doesn't fit.
Where the legend of Keith Robinson first began. I'm gonna let you know, because you guys are special. BET. Well, it all started when I was young, very young. When I first had this attitude problem that I have now. See, my mom, she wouldn't let me suffocate the cat. I got ticked off. Ran away from home when I was 2 years old.
What?
Packed my Pampers up and got the heck out of the place. I didn't need the pressure. You know, and with me, you know, I've always been funny. I've always...
Not right now. I mean, you're bombing.
Packed up the Pampers.
Your suffocating cat story bombed.
Packed up the Pampers.
I didn't realize how bad this was. Like, that was bad
That was
comedy.
bad.
Who laughs at suffocating cat jokes?
Well, it's just not having. He goes, Mama, she won't let me suffocate the cat. See now. So, and like, I feel like when the camera person was just dead facing him, he goes, so that didn't work out. So I was 2 years old and I left the house. And they're like,
Packed up my Pampers. You know
That's my favorite line.
That's when he looked at her and looked at them because they both looked at each other like, "What the fuck are we doing?
he goes, everything all right?
This guy's murdering cats."
This isn't live, is it?
Can we edit
Made
out the
people
cat
laugh.
part?
Told story to my brothers, and everything just went smooth for me. And I'm just great. Comedy Express.
What?
Did he say I'm just great?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Who's after him? Just one more of these guys. Oh, Nick Reed's the manager. Oh, so Nick's to blame for this. So the comedy group is just the three of them?
Well, they said the manager's part of the group.
Yeah, man is a part of the group, dude. Comedy Express. You need 4.
I tell you what, when I
Who's
was
the caboose?
when I was a young, dumb trailer park kid thinking I could be a rapper, I'm glad there wasn't a camera anywhere near me. I'm glad because this is
You thought you could be a
But look,
rapper?
can you,
absolutely.
Can you look at Look at all their faces as the manager's talking. They're all going, "What the fuck did we do?"
Why did we give Nick all of our money to buy these goddamn jackets?
They're all on these stairs and they're looking down like we're gonna get killed for this.
It's horrible. You have Keith on?
Oh, we got the great Keith Robinson on right now to
Oh,
explain
please,
himself.
Bobby. Bring him in.
Hey, how are those cats that you killed?
Fuck those cats.
Keith, it came as you know. It's funny. I keep saying it. I remember now when we would drive up in the Focus, and you would tell us, me and Kev, like stories of Comedy Express. But I don't think through YouTube, I was never able to put like a face to what this was. And boy, oh boy, man, they set you guys up for failure. First of all, no one knew that BET had nightly news. I don't think that does this happen still. And he goes,
No,
"Thank you,
on
Comedy
BET.
Express." Thank you, Comedy Express. And now for weather on the ones on the fours. Because they're late.
I liked it.
Thank you.
I liked it.
Thank you.
I liked it.
Keith, was Nick Reed just a manager or was he also a comedian? Because when he speaks in this interview, you guys don't look happy.
They don't look happy,
Well,
Jay,
that's fine.
because they know this stinks. They're literally going,
It
"Why are
didn't
we doing
stink.
this?"
No, it didn't stink.
No,
We was
no.
on WDAS, J, and Power 99. And we got a half-hour special.
On what?
Yeah.
Prism.
What's
Oh, is that true?
what's Prism?
Yes.
I'll tell you exactly what Prism is if he's being honest. Prism was for
I am.
Philadelphia garbage like myself and
Yeah.
Keith, who couldn't get full cable. Philly just made like a cable station, and you'd have to get an antenna for one station, Prism, and it was like where you could see movies that had nudity and stuff on it, and they had a couple of things.
And
you had
Comedy Express.
You
You
had
could
a
see it.
Prism half-hour special.
Yeah.
How did four guys have a half-hour special? That doesn't.
No.
The time doesn't add up. I mean,
What?
Yeah.
what did you do for a half hour?
Even the
Wait a
plastic,
minute, wait.
even the plastic cup boys all get 8 minutes.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. Let me ask you a question, Comedy Express.
No.
I-
I'm going to tell you.
Oh,
We
please.
got white guys in it, too.
What?
White
We
guys
had
were
a
in Comedy
comedy
Express.
Special. Well, we brought them in. Grover Silcock, Big Daddy Graham. All of them was on it.
Oh, there was
I
more.
brought the white guys in, too.
Oh, so you weren't the only Comedy Express. You were the founders, and then you let other people.
No,
in.
I am Comedy Express. Keith Robinson.
It's like the And One mixtape tour.
I am.
That's why I've always said Ralph Tresvant is New Edition, but that's what that's what Keith Robinson was.
So how do you get a jacket? Like, did you know what I mean? How did you get your jacket?
Well, you had to get jumped in. Comedy Express.
Joked in.
That's what I said for some of you. You had to shed blood for somebody. You had to cut somebody.
The first 3
Can I-
minutes of your
can I-
first set, you're getting beat up.
Hey, Keith.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question? The joke about the killing the cats. When you went, I can't.
That wasn't no joke.
You packed up your Pampers and took off at 2 years old because your mama couldn't understand your style.
She was hating.
What is the? I don't understand the joke though. There's no joke there. You said I killed the kittens and she didn't think it was funny. Like what was the joke?
He always had a bad attitude.
Wait a minute. There you go, Jay.
Yeah,
Jay knows.
I know what's up.
So
He always
this
had a bad
Philly
attitude.
thing. This Philly thing.
Yeah, the more I think about it, Keith,
attitude.
this is a Philly thing. Look at them. 4 guys on a stoop talking that shit wearing team jackets.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy about that.
Hey,
Suits, ties.
If you went to the gig and you forgot your jacket, did you have to go home and get it, or could you still do the show?
No, I never forgot my jacket.
I'll
It
tell
was
you
like
what,
we're like a guy.
Keith, am I right about this, though? And this is no disrespect to Ralph, and I don't know the other two guys at all. The one we thought was the guy who would rape all the people at college gigs, but it's not him.
What was his name?
Vince Champ.
Vince Champ. It looks like
I
Vince
thought
Champ.
one was the college rapist guy, but it's not him, so I take that back. But you, I don't know Ralph and Ramont's like background at all either, but you were from like before you were in Comedy Express. Like you said, like you were like in like Tasker Projects, basically, like fighting, and you guys said you were working concerts and shit like that. So it is funny that like he was the bad boy. He was the bad boy of the Comedy Express, Keith Robinson.
Yeah, killing cats, man.
It's damn right.
Packing diapers full
I'll
of
kill
shit
any
and killing
cat
kittens.
in my sight.
There should have been a 1-900 number at the end of that. He goes, "You want to talk to me, the bad boy? Mama kicked me out when I was 2 years old because nobody can hold me down. I'm a wild man." And then he just was like some kind of a weird like body hump.
And he tips his hat and rolls down his arm and then he flips it back up.
Did you ever see videos where male strippers introduce themselves? I was like, "I'm Anaconda, and I'm here for your pleasure."
I'm Keith Robinson. I kill kittens and I kill pussy.
If you don't
Packed up my
understand me,
Pampers.
I will pack up my Pampers and move on.
He goes, "My Pampers are Magnum Pampers."
Well, Philly was a rough town.
So those satin jackets protected you because they knew.
Yeah, because all the guys
Well, you had to go around. No, everybody in Philly could fight. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
White, black, a few Chinese, whatever, we fought.
Did they have jackets too?
That's everybody knew who each other was.
Yeah, were they
Everyone had their jackets.
Were they the Chinese Express? They got to your house in 30 minutes.
Chinese Express.
That's how you know who won, is who's wearing the jacket.
Or it'd be great if it was all just different
my
like
God.
arts. It's like Comedy Express, Acoustic Guitar Express.
Just offshoots.
But y'all got to realize, y'all disrespecting Comedy Express, but it started off a lot of fucking things
What?
in Philly and beyond. Everybody performed with us.
When you say
Prism wouldn't have made it without it.
Warren Hutchinson,
Warren,
for sure. Wanda,
Wanda
young Wanda.
Did Wanda get a jacket?
yes.
Did Wanda have to get a
No,
jacket? Did you
she's
make
a
her roll the
female.
dice and you guys all did her?
Women don't get jackets. They get sweaters.
Hey, Rhonda, roll the dice.
Wanda got a pink sweater.
Me and the Harris brothers and Vince Champ are going to take turns fucking you.
Jesus, Jay.
Oh, my goodness, Jay. Well,
Jesus.
Well, that's what happens to the girls in the gangs. Did you guys not see that one movie where that happened?
That does happen to the girls in the gang.
Yeah. Nick Reed, for the record, looks shiesty. He's your manager.
that's my cousin.
Is it your cousin?
He took the money, didn't he?
Yeah, and he is.
It just you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of guys like, and I don't know, did Boston have this, Bobby? Philly most certainly did, especially in the black scene. The guys who were like local criminals basically, but they would try to jump into like legitimate like management. Like Kev at one point, do you remember this, Keith? Was managed by guys named Lynn and Kendall, and they were just two dudes who drove Lincoln Navigators for some reason.
We didn't have that, but also we didn't have his pussies in satin jackets walking around the comedy clubs.
Yeah, because you get cum stains all over them. That's right. You guys were gay up there.
Wait a minute.
Philly rules, Boston drools.
I would love for you guys to come into fucking Boston, but you get the shit kicked out of you by Steve Sweeney and Don Gavin. These fucking fairies came in with jackets on, like slippery jackets.
Lenny Clark's a big boy. I'm going to go behind him low. You go high.
Don't even get me started on the hats.
Who's that fucking kitten killer?
We would have beat the shit out of Boston comedy.
I agree. I agree, Keith, all day long.
100% you wouldn't have.
I think we should do this as like a celebrity boxing match. Like a Jake Paul type of thing.
What?
We would have tore Boston comedy's ass out. They stink.
Nah, 100% you wouldn't have.
What?
I'll say it again.
What do you mean 100%?
100% Keith and your little gang, your little fucking doo-wop gang would have got your asses kicked.
Dude, the black circuit in Philadelphia was its own violent situation. It wasn't like things were good. It was like, I told you, remember that, Keith? That first show I did away from the Laugh House. I always told you that. Roy's Comfort Zone. My mother literally, she goes, "Where's it at?" And I went, "Up in Cecil B. Moore and Broad Street." She goes, No, don't. She goes, "Don't go over there." I go, "No, they're paying me $50 to go." She goes, "I'll give you $50 if you please don't go over there." And I'm like, "Mom, it's my art."
I'll give you 50 and a satin jacket if you just stay.
I'll make you your own satin jacket, honey.
I'll make you.
It's not the same. I got to earn my stripes. I got to earn my satin.
You know what I like to do? Now, who do you think will win, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
The Philly Whites or the Boston Whites? In a good fight.
We're talking the Whites now. Now, how far do we go back? I mean, Dom Irera is an old...
70 Whites was unstoppable.
You're talking Dom Irera. I love Dom, but that little pot-bellied Italian...
Yeah, no, at no point was he going to hold our own.
No.
Damn, dude. Our Philly Whites were lacking, Keith. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, your Philly Whites would. I mean, we had Lenny Clark, we had Don Gavin, we have Dennis Leary.
But I'm telling you, our black circuit had, repeat offender criminals.
Oh, I 100%. We had Patrice.
You'd be like, "Hey, where's Buck Wild?" And they go, "The cops shot him. He's alive, but he's in jail for the next 11 years." And you're like, "Oh, I think I owed him money."
I feel like the only way this argument ends is with you two fighting.
No, we're old men, dude. We're past our prime.
We're tummy time buddies.
We're tummy time.
Yeah.
We get other younger comics to do this.
Yeah.
I feel like the new Philly crew is pretty scrappy.
Goddamn right, dude. Give me a Dave Temple. Who you put up against Dave Temple?
I got no.
Yeah.
I got no.
You have a Joe List wiry ass?
Yeah, I know. We really went downhill. we went downhill. We got nobody.
You guys will stay behind a locked gate and yell racist things at us all. Get that blacks and his Jew friends. Huh?
Metzger could be scary in a fight.
Metzger's a scary fight only because you feel like he won't know.
His hog was out.
Metzger's a scary fight because you don't know if his like when his eyes are going to come back to the front of his head again, and he's going to not keep going.
Oh, they're going to go black like a shark.
It seems like it seems like he's a complete zone out, Kurt, and then just goes forward. At the Cellar the one time when I was down there and some guy was being shitty with him in the audience, when Kurt got off stage, the guy came over and around Shaq clapped him in the ear, just slapped him in the side of the head, but it boxed Kurt's ear. Ooh. And Kurt, like I said, like that, his eyes rolled in the back of his head. And do you remember the movie The Lost Boys? Yeah. Remember when the vampires would run towards each other? It's like a very long distance with arms already out in a choking position.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
That's what Kurt started doing. He just went to the guy with like a Frankenstein forcefulness and just brought him down on the ground and did go. He fucked the dude up pretty good.
Like he was floating, like he was on roller skates?
Yep. Yeah, it was like Spike Lee. He was on a Spike Lee dolly. And Kurt just went forward and just pounded this guy with pure, just Frankenstein-esque rage. It was bizarre. So Kurt is a pretty scary fight, but it's not a skill thing for sure.
Yes, Kurt is scary. Keith's scary.
Sure.
Because he has nothing to lose. Except his satin jacket.
Whoa.
Keith's in an age now where he keeps a gun and he calls it a pistol.
Keith, not now. Now you have stuff, but back then you had nothing to lose.
I had a lot of... Look.
What?
I've been on TV. That was 86. Every decade says 86.
They had 3 channels.
I've been on TV.
Keith was on the square, big wooden TVs.
I was 9.
You had to actually have bunny ears on your TV when Keith was on TV.
I couldn't have seen this.
I was 1.
I think he calls his gun Pampers because he's always packing it.
I am bummed that I didn't catch the Prism special, and I'd like to find. Where do you think Prism keeps their archives? Where's Prism's old shit?
I can't find CISO.
Yeah, I can't even find my CISO show anywhere, let alone Prism.
God
damn it!
I love Prism.
What happened with the jacket, my friend? Do you still have it, or did you wind up? Did you have to give it back when you left?
Was it a rental?
No. Is it the Hall of Fame of comedy?
It's hanging at Wells Fargo. How many? Here's
retired
a
his
question,
jacket.
Keith. How many jackets were doled out? Like how many were given? Was it an exclusive few, or was it dime a dozen? If you roll with the Comedy Express, you're in
Tony
here.
Woods won one real bad.
Tony Woods?
But he was from these. Yeah, he won one. We never gave it to him now.
Poor Tony Woods.
You did give Tony Woods one of the satin jackets?
He brought that DC bullshit. Probably called someone a Bama.
Because they had a crew called the Turnabout Posse.
Jesus
That was
Christ.
their group.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
That's how you do it.
Where'd you guys meet over at that Baltimore bridge and just fucking yo mama joke each other? Loser has to give the other guy. Listen,
man.
I mean, I don't. Bobby, have you had comedy fights things? Do you remember Keith? I remember when we were driving up all the time. I stayed behind one time to do Javon Pearson's show, which was a place called Boots and Bonnets under the highway, and I did it, and he wasn't paying me, and he kept having me come back week after week to not pay me, and it would give me some of the money and tell me to come back again next week. And then we found out one time he asked Kev to do the show too, and Kev was like, I don't know, man, you keep having Jay, and I hear the money's not right. And he goes, no, the money's fine. The money's good. He goes, don't listen to that. He goes, I'll make sure we already have the budget ready to go. And if not, he goes, I'll just give Jay less again. I don't think he just knew that me and Kev were close like that.
Yeah.
We were playing Madden while that phone call happened. And I was like, yo, I'm going there tonight and just getting my money, not performing. And I went there. Remember, I almost he had a security guy with him, and it was a whole, but I bitched him out. And he gave me the money, and I left, and I came back so confident about that.
Did
And
Keith give you a jacket when you got back?
he did not give me a jacket, but he told me, he said, young fella, that's Comedy Express material. We couldn't find enough worms to make the jackets.
You're not ready yet, player.
But then I went, do you remember this, Keith? And then I did another shitty show in Ocean City a couple weeks later. I think it was the night I picked you up from hitting a deer. I was driving back from it. I was doing a show in Ocean City that started late, and the guys weren't going to give me my money. They're like, yeah, we're not giving you. Or they gave me less, and I was like, no. Now I stick up for myself, and I was like, no more. Go get my money. Get my money, and I'll wait here and get my money. And they were like, okay, we'll go get your money. And they left the room, and I remember I started smoking one of their menthol cigarettes that I just saw in there, and I'm like, that's how it rolls now. I'm not leaving without getting my money. And they just came back with two other guys and beat me up. and then Keith called me and goes, I just hit a deer on the turnpike. Come grab me.
That's fucking dare.
Dude, we had so many road things. When Keith hit that deer, he told me, I go, you okay? He goes, fucking deer. He goes, destroyed my car, totaled my car, took a fat shit on my hood, and ran off into the woods and probably died. And I just took that in as Keith saying it the funniest way possible. And when I got there, and the tow truck guy got there, his car was caved in, what looked like it was around a fucking moose. And right in the middle of it, a fat, perfect pyramid of soft-served deer shit. It's exactly what happened.
Yeah. That happened to Brian Scalaro. He was with his friends upstate, and they hit a deer, and the ass swung around and hit the side door, and the shit went in the kid's face on the passenger
Someone got
seat.
kicked in the face,
yeah,
too.
something like that. That was just fucking stinks.
Oh, man, that was... And then one time, Keith, thank God it was his beater car. He got a shitty beater car because we were putting too many miles on the Focus.
The Ford Focus was not the beater.
We were putting too many miles. The Ford Focus was sharp. We thought it was great. I think it had a 5-disc changer in the front. Where you could put 5 in one slot.
I remember
The luxury.
Keith would take you. He'd always go out and start his car because make sure it starts early.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, how many times? Keith, remember the time I forgot we went all the way to his house. We were flying out of Newark, and I forgot my license, my ID on the Upper East Side. I've never seen somebody so mad than Keith Robinson. You
Yeah.
goddamn young motherfucker who forgets the license.
Well, Keith, do you remember being in the beater car and you fell asleep? You thought I was getting you back because one time we had like a small like car argument because I was sleeping at one point in the car when Keith was
Yeah,
driving.
you've done that to me.
I'm not apologizing to Keith or Kevin Hart for falling asleep in a car ever. They used to just go start sleeping the second we left New York. And it's why I started smoking cigarettes, just because I needed company.
Yeah, you had to hope that it fell on your lap and kept you up.
Stay alive. But they would crash out. And when I crashed out the one night, Keith was getting annoyed with me snoring, so he just did a little jerk of the wheel, which was funny because it's supposed to make you just kind of do like that little, like your head comes up and then you tap back on the thing and it wakes you up. But this car was like, it was this beater car. It was made of like steel, it was made of like just like steel and hard plastic. So when I did like drilled, it like rung my bell when he did it, and Keith's laughing at it, and I'm getting genuinely mad. He's like, "Shut up!" And I'm like, "It's just fucked up, Keith. Like that hurt." Keith thought for years that I got him back for that. By one time, I couldn't even still tell you what the hell it was. And a dark turnpike. Me and Keith are driving down. Keith's asleep. I'm not getting him back at all. There's something in the road. I didn't see it. All I know, I was wide awake. All I know is when Keith woke up, it was to me screaming because all four wheels were in the air. We were up in the air. And then the thing where he came down, there was like sparks on the side and pulled over. The only reason he believed I wasn't didn't fall asleep or something is because if you remember, we got out of the car and it just happened in the next 7 cars. They were just bottoming out. We had to get a tow truck to come.
Shit.
Keith used to bug me because we'd do road gigs and he'd play oldies.
Buddy, let me tell you something. The incredible, the incomparable, it's the mighty, mighty Dells. I know all the... Keith would make me... Yeah. He would make me soul mixtapes like I was a girl he was trying to fuck.
That's so bad.
He'd be like, "That's Mahalia Jackson, young fella."
And he'd be like, "All right, we're leaving right after the show. Keith, it's a 9-hour drive back. I got to be back tomorrow in Philly for my son."
Yeah.
And you drive back. He dropped me off in the train station at 5 in the morning in downtown Philadelphia. He goes, "Don't look anybody. Right. Don't look anybody in the eye. You'll be all right, kid."
This is where Shyamalan films.
Well, that's what you did to poor Jay.
What'd I do to Jay?
I never liked that.
What'd I do to Jay?
You know what you did.
I didn't do nothing to Jay.
You know exactly what you did.
They still hold you to the fire for this one.
I'm gonna just say this, dude. Mm-hmm. You ratted me out.
I didn't mean to rat you out.
Happened? Okay, it's fine, Jay. But listen, there was them.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was me and you.
Sure.
Me and you.
Mm-hmm.
We were another thing.
We became another thing for sure.
We became another thing.
I thought that trip was a pure bonding experience.
That's what it was.
And Keith set you up to get dimed out. I didn't know. You did what you were absolutely able to do. And I couldn't have thought it was a better experience.
Did you pay for gas?
Bobby, no, I did not.
Did you pay for food?
No, I did not.
Did you drive? Did you drive?
No, I did drive. I did drive.
Most of it. Who drove?
Wait a minute.
What?
Mm-hmm.
We already had a court for this.
We did. You already had a court. You were found guilty.
I do know this story.
There's no statute of limitations on this.
Oh, no double jeopardy?
There's no double jeopardy, no.
Yeah, so Bobby was in town, and so we kind of just met Bobby, and they were like, you're coming back in town to do a college run pretty soon.
I had just gotten colleges.
And he offered it to Kev.
For the first time, yeah.
And Kev was kind of in the mix, and he goes, Kev couldn't do it. And Kev kind of was like, Kev and Keith were like, you should take Jay to do it. So I was like, I'd love to do it. Bobby was like,
I didn't know you.
Not at all.
Nope.
We get in the car, and we get along right away. It's great. And Bobby, same thing. Bobby buys meals. Obviously, he's not asking me for gas money. We're doing this thing where it's a good trip.
Everything.
Hotel. We're up and down the thing. And then when we were leaving, the only one funny thing was when we were leaving, which, by the way, I've had people do wacky things like this for me before, too. So I fully get it. Because I didn't argue at all. Our last show was in Maryland. Bobby was staying with Matt Frost in Midtown, New York. And I lived in South Jersey, right by Philly. And I remember just Keith laughing at the concept of me driving right past my exit 3 on the turnpike. And driving Bobby back up to Manhattan and turning back around. But I told that, I was like, no, but we had a blast, honestly. And they go,
we had a good time, man.
We had a good time. They go, what did he pay you? He goes, what did he pay you? And I went, and Bobby's already back in L.A. at this point. What'd he pay? And I go, $300. And Keith goes, good. He goes, $300 a show. That's cool, man. Good for him. Good for Keith. And I wasn't upset. I was just correcting him. Going, oh no, Keith, $300 total. He gave me $100 a gig. And then the way that spread through the Olive Tree Cafe to Patrice to everything, they put Bobby on instant trial.
I came in one night.
No, this is on the phone. They did it over the phone. You don't remember? You weren't there. It was on speakerphone.
That was another trial. I was on trial. I was
a frequent offender in the comedy court.
Yeah. I read it. It was on something else, yeah.
Yeah, so Bobby was on the phone, and they called him up. And the worst part is they're bullying me, my voice, out of it because I'm like, well, this guy just gave me work in $300. This is great to me. I'm like, hey, could you please stop making it sound like I'm complaining? And they're going, shut up, Jay. You should complain. And I'm in the background going, Bobby, I'm not really saying. It's so then Bobby, they put him on trial. I think Keith was my lawyer. I think Patrice tried to defend Bobby.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
No.
He tried to defend Bobby, and I wasn't having it.
He wasn't having it. Patrice took him to task.
Patrice stunk. He really fucking stunk as my lawyer.
Yeah, he almost wasn't on your side.
He was 100% not on my side.
And then they drew a newspaper in chalk on the table that drew a picture of me crying, bent over, and Bobby behind bars, holding little bars. And they called him that. Yeah. The next day, I was like, shit, man. The next day, I was back. See how long ago it was, at my mom's house, on my mom's house phone. I don't think I had a cell phone yet. On my mom's house phone, I get a call, and I answer it, and I go, hello? And you just hear Bobby go, you don't tell people what you make, dude. And then our next road gig years later was Mohegan Sun. Me and Bobby went to. It was like a year or so later. And it was one night, and Bobby goes, I'll give you $300 for the night. And when he was paying me, he went to the ATM. He goes, what did I say I was going to give you? I go, $300, I think he said. He goes, well, here's $400. Now go tell people that, you fat fuck.
It was a different time.
It was a different time. No, but I was the best person. I thought that was hilarious. I loved it. He was like, tell people that, you piece of shit. Because they came down on him. They go, Bobby, you're trying to rip off Jay.
I was so mad at you that trip because we were coming back and we had a long drive back and it was exhausting. The gigs weren't the best. College gigs were kind of shitty a little bit.
Like lunchrooms and shit.
Some of them go, yeah, they're terrible. I think the last one was terrible, but we pulled it off. Mm-hmm. I think there was no lights. I asked for water, and they gave me a cup of water.
Lunchrooms,
like a little Dixie cup,
a little cup of water, like here. It was bad. That last show sucked, and then we stopped at Wendy's, and I was furious because I go, what do you want? I ordered all my food as a fat fuck. I'm like, at least I'm gonna be traveling with another fat fuck, and we're gonna eat like heroin addicts.
What do you order, Bobby?
He goes, oh, just give me the taco salad. I was like, what the fuck are you getting? And then we left, and he goes, oh damn. I'm like, what? He goes, they didn't put my sour cream.
Sour cream.
I'm like, I'm trying to get home. I'm fucking exhausted. The gig sucked. We did the tour.
Did you make him go back around?
I had to go back in the thing. And I hit the thing. Can I get the sour cream? You forgot the sour cream.
And I had to say to him, Bobby, because again, you don't want to make the waves, but I just tell him, I go, it is just honestly anything that's like Mexican-y, like if there's no sour cream, it's just not even worth it to me. He's like, we'll get you sour cream. He gets me sour. And the funny of how much that annoyed my eating habits annoyed Bobby. When we got back, and Keith, you'll remember this because it was the hardest I've ever laughed at a joke made about me. When Bobby goes, this fucking fat shit is there, and he's not eating. We're supposed to be there eating. I'm supposed to not feel bad about eating in front of him. And now I'm eating shitty food. He's trying to eat a salad at Wendy's. And I go, yeah, Bobby, I actually don't even eat all that crazy. And just without no hands, just like a head nod, he goes, then how did that happen?
Shit. I deserve a jacket. I should get a jacket.
You definitely should get a jacket.
How's Bobby not in the Express? Keith, strong chance we should bring it back, man. We should bring back the jackets.
I like Mean Bobby.
Comedy Express should come back big time. And I think we get a BET interview years later, same lady.
We should think of another word than express. Something not as fast.
Something not as fast. The comedy scenic route.
The comedy local.
Yeah.
The comedy stroll.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He goes, the comedy gingerly walk. The express coming
the comedy,
at you.
we'll get there.
Keith, I absolutely love you. You're going to come in studio soon, I think, when we get back from this break. Please come in.
Man.
Please come in. We got
Keith,
a zillion and one stories to tell.
Keith's got a new special. He's probably filming in a couple months. It annoys me.
Yeah.
Honest to God, dude. I followed him a couple times at the cellar.
Yeah.
And everybody that has gone to see me is like, that Keith Robinson's funny. He's at the top of his game right now.
Awesome.
He deserves a jacket. He deserves a jacket.
And a hat.
Yes.
Keith, bring back the jacket.
Express Plus.
I hope you get all the success right now, and your special is huge. And then somebody finds this video of you killing cats, and they cancel you.
Don't fuck with cats, Keith. Everybody knows that. You don't fuck with cats.
Wander and Kev have to go. Man, I don't know anything about that. I know.
Packing
Now,
up
listen
his
here.
Pampers.
I'll tell you this. Now, bam, boom. I don't remember killing any cats on my watch. Bam, boom, bing, bang. That's my Kev impression, Keith. Now, bam. First things first. Boom, bam. Boom, bam, zip. Bap, spank.
Me and my wife love
God
cats.
We love you, buddy, and we'll talk real soon.
Love you, Keith.
Keith Robinson, everybody. Make sure you follow him and check him out.
Yeah, check him out. He's always at the Comedy Cellar. He's one of the funniest guys around. I mean, on and off, so funny.
We have John Carden hanging out with us today. John Carden is going to be at that House of Comedy in Phoenix, Arizona. That's March 30th through April 2nd. For tickets, follow at Going to the John, Jon, on Instagram.
And Big J, you are going to be in Rochester March 24th and 25th. And after that, you're in Spokane and West Nyack and Detroit. For tickets, please go to your website, bigjcomedy.com.
Yes, indeed.
Big couple weeks coming up, my friend.
Yeah, the special April 5th. Watch it. Comment. Share. Those things are important. First day. Algorithms. Make it happen.
You sound so old.
Hashtag Tony Hinchcliffe. Hashtag everyone else I know. Bobby Kelly, of course, is going to be at the Comedy Works in Saratoga Springs, March 24th and 25th. After that, Nashville, Tennessee, and Austin, Texas for the Nashville Comedy Festival and the Moon Tower Festival. We're going to be there together. Come hang with us together.
Yeah,
come
come
bullshit
hang
with
out.
us,
I'll
man.
see
Tell us
both
how
of
you're...
you.
Hell yeah.
Let's go to that time.
Tell us how you're loving the show.
We'll have fun.
No notes, please.
Yeah, no
for
notes.
tickets and all that, just tell us how much you love it.
Yeah.
No notes.
Yeah, we don't need suggestions.
We beat ourselves up plenty. For tickets and all other tour dates, go to robertkellylive.com. We'll be right back.
With the Bonfire.
Hey, everybody, thanks for listening. That was just a portion of our actual Sirius XM radio show.
If you want the whole thing, the whole damn thing, go to SiriusXM.com/bonfire for a special offer.
That's right. And go to bigjcomedy.com and robertkellylive.com to check out our stand-up dates coming to a city near you. Crackle, crackle.
I stepped on your crackle. I stink.